With over 500 horsepower from its dual electric motors, the new Model 3 Performance offers giant killing performance, 0 to 60, 2.8 seconds, quarter mile, 11 seconds flat at 125 miles an hour. Amazing. Hi, this is Joe from Scarff Ford, and today we're going to talk about this awesome 2024 Model 3 Performance, one amazing performance sedan that's all electric. This is in beautiful shape inside and out. If we take a look at the software screen, this example has a tad over 6,000 miles, 6,405 to be exact. If you're in the market for an EV, if you're in the market for a fantastic sedan, let alone an EV, the Model 3 Performance is definitely worth a look. You could call this a performance bargain. Don't take my word for it. Read some automotive press reviews of the Model 3 Performance. They lavish it with praise. I'm a fan of Teslas. I actually own a 2019 Tesla Model 3 myself. And I'm a little bit envious. For 2024, the Model 3 got what they call a refresh, but it's almost like a complete redesign. How different it looks. The outside styling's different. The inside styling is way different. It is far, far better. And the Model 3 Performance really has differentiated itself from the regular Model 3 a lot more. With the older body style of the Model 3, there wasn't a huge visual difference between the regular Model 3 all-wheel drive long range versus the Performance. Basically, in the old Model 3, you got like a larger wheel and tire package, a slightly lower suspension, and red brake calipers. But aside from that, it really didn't look that much different on the inside and the outside than a regular Model 3. Not the case with the 2024 Model 3 Performance. The outside styling is definitely different. You have a little bit different front fascia. You have this really cool rear underbody diffuser. So the exterior styling is way different. You have amazing wheel and tire package. Of course, you have those red brake calipers, but you also have adaptive dampers. Those adaptive dampers really up the performance ante and the handling of the Model 3 Performance. The old Model 3 Performance was great going in a fast in a straight line, but with these adaptive dampers, it is much, much better in the handling department. And then when we go towards the inside, it's looking different as well. We have these really comfortable, supportive seats with extra bolstering in them that are unique to the Model 3 Performance. Very comfortable, very supportive. And then for 2024, across the board, the Model 3 got a complete refresh on the interior. You have this really cool ambient LED lighting, which creates a cool effect on the in the inside of the vehicle. We have a new screen in the back, which I'll show you shortly. We have these new perforated seats. It's synthetic leather. They call it vegan leather. There's no real leather available in any Teslas. I think 2017 was the last year you could get real leather in a Tesla product. But it looks and feels convincingly real. And now we have heated and ventilated front seats, which was not previously an option on the Model 3 at all. So that's a little bit nicer. We have a fully charged range of 300 miles, which is fantastic. And your house is a gas station. So, you know, people always ask, well, how often am I gonna have to supercharge it, or where can I find charging? Well, unless you drive more than 300 miles a day, or even 200 miles a day, you're not really gonna have to supercharge it. It's like an electric toothbrush. You use your electric toothbrush, and when you're done with it, you put it on its charger, and when you're ready to use it again, it's fully charged. Same thing with an EV. Just as long as you don't live in an apartment, you park it at your house, you plug it in, and you wake up the next morning and you have a full tank of electricity. And then if you do need to charge, you have Tesla's amazing supercharging network. You can pretty much drive almost anywhere in the country with a supercharging network. Tesla has this trip planner. It's very easy. You put in where you need to go, and then the car will take you there. It'll plan the whole trip for you. It'll tell you where you need the charge for and how long to charge for. So it takes really all the range anxiety out of owning an EV. And it's really easy to find charging. We can go on this screen right here. You hit the lightning bolts, and this shows us all the superchargers. And you can see where we are. There's a lot of them. Look at, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 superchargers within 10 miles of us. So like I said, they're all over the place. There's plenty of space available, and you can charge to 80% in about 20 minutes. So, you know, and that's the other thing. If you're going on a long road trip, are you really going to sit in the car for 500 miles or 400 miles without getting out and stretching, emptying your bladder, getting a coffee, getting something to eat? The Tesla superchargers are usually strategically placed around, you know, restaurants, convenience stores, shopping malls. So there's always something to do while you're waiting for your car to charge. And 20 minutes actually charges pretty fast. And you don't need to be there for 20 minutes. There's quite often where I just need a little bit extra range just to get me home. So you can add, with an almost depleted battery, you can add like 100 miles of range in like 5 or 10 minutes. And that's enough to get you where you need to go. You don't need to wait the whole 20 minutes to charge. So that pretty much puts you in line of going to a gas pump. And then the price you pay for electricity, even at the superchargers, is far less. In the Pacific Northwest, we have some of the lowest electricity rates in the country, so we can really benefit from EV ownership out here in the Pacific Northwest. And on top of that, we tend to have higher gas prices in the rest of the country, so even more so. And this is a performance machine that's right on par with like a M3 competition, which is a lot more money. An M3 competition is about 80 grand. And think about all that expensive maintenance that you have to do on an M3 competition. It has a complex, supercharged and turbocharged engine. It requires a lot of expensive dealer maintenance, where this is almost zero maintenance. It's just wiper blades, cabin filters, obviously tires. If you don't behave yourself, you can go through tires pretty fast with over 500 electric horsepower. But the maintenance is really low and they're really reliable. I have a powertrain warranty that covers the batteries and the electric motors up to 125,000 miles. Far longer than the battery, far longer than the warranty you'd have like on a M3 competition, which is only 4 years, 50,000 miles. There's not too many 500 horsepower high performance gas cars that will have a full powertrain warranty to 125,000 miles. And the jury is out. There are a lot of Model 3s. There's a lot of Teslas out there. There's one Model 3 with 300,000 miles on the original battery. So we're finding out that EVs are turning out to last longer than gas cars. The average gas car lasts 150,000 miles, and it's not uncommon to see Teslas with 200,000+ miles, 300, and some out there with 400,000 miles on the original batteries. There are Teslas out there with 200,000 miles, and the batteries are still at 80% capacity, which is amazing. So that means that you get 80% of the full charge as when it was brand new. That's not bad for a 200,000 mile vehicle. So people, who worry about, well, when am I going to have to replace my battery? It's actually pretty rare where batteries prematurely go bad or go bad at all in EVs, as we're seeing. Usually the vehicle will wear out before the batteries do. So pretty awesome stuff. I can be a little bit long-winded on these Tesla videos just because they are so different than all the other vehicles on the road. So we have this really clean sheet design on the interior. And it's by design, it's on purpose. People sometimes ridicule Teslas for not having hard buttons and knobs, but those hard buttons and knobs, they're there forever. Having all the functionality in this screen means this screen is infinitely reconfigurable. And it keeps the vehicle relevant. Even though my Tesla is from 2019, with the over-the-air updates I get on a monthly or every couple months, it keeps my display, it keeps the features very similar to what you have on this screen. I don't have everything. I don't have the fastest processor, but I have a lot of stuff that you have on newer Teslas as far as software goes with the over-the-air updates. And this one, as far as software goes, this has the full self-driving computer 4, which allows you to use the latest version of FSD. This car does not have FSD. It has autopilot, which is a traffic-aware cruise control, which is fantastic too. It allows the vehicle to steer in its own lane and go to a complete stop, moving with the flow of traffic. But full self-driving is getting really good. It's $99 a month or $8,000 if you want to buy it, or $99 a month if you want to subscribe to it. And it's amazing. It's hands-free now. So when I use my FSD, I put in my work or where I need to go, and I just sit there, and the car takes me there. It makes left and right-hand turns. It merges on the highway, gets off the highway. It goes into faster lanes if the lanes are going too slow. It's amazing. It does need a little bit of supervision, but it's very rare where I have to intervene. The car is so good at driving itself. It's amazing, and it's nice. I just sit there and enjoy the ride. And, people are like, well, I like to drive. Well, I like to drive too, but I don't like to drive and stop and go traffic in the highway. I like to drive on beautiful curvy roads, but on those highway slogs, being able to have that mental workload of just keeping your car centered in its lane, especially when it's dark and rainy, it's not easy. Having the car take that workload off of you really makes a big difference. And it's also proving autopilot and FSD cars are actually proving that get into accidents at a far, far lower rate than actual humans. So using autopilot or using FSD actually makes the car safer. And the way the vehicle is constructed, the way this car is constructed, makes it safe as well. In fact, the Model 3 is one of the safest vehicles that you can buy. So, let alone its amazing performance and technology, if you value safety and your family and friends' safety, the Model 3 is one of the safest vehicles on the road. So you have this amazing screen. The majority of the functionality is in the screen. You can swipe forward to put it in to make it go forward. You can swipe back to make it go backwards. There's also an intuitive setting where the vehicle will see where you're parked or see where the vehicle's positioned, and it can intuitively decide if you want to go in forward or reverse. It actually works really well. You can subscribe to premium connectivity. You can stream Netflix, Hulu, TikTok. You can't do that while you're driving. You can stream music. I like YouTube Music. There's also Apple Music, Audible, Amazon Music. So much great stuff to do. You have the arcade. So while you're supercharging, or maybe you're waiting for someone, your significant other shopping in the store, you're in the car, you can pass time away playing video games. Then we have the toy box that has the silly things like the whoopee cushion. It has a colorizer so you can change your vehicle's avatar if you wish to do so. The car can play a light show. There's a boom box where you can talk through the horn, or you can play music through the horn, or you can make the horn sound like a fart or a goat. Some of the stuff is silly. Some of the stuff is actually real, legitimate, cool stuff. Some of the stuff is kind of like parlor tricks. This one has a nice all-season floor liners, beautiful white interior. I love the looks and lines of the Model 3. It's absolutely beautiful automobile. It's kind of that minimalist wedge styling that we've seen. And with a little nip and tuck and a refresh, it's looking better than ever. Nice chiseled lines. Since we don't have an engine up here, we have more storage in the form of a frunk. But this is also a safety feature because you have all this space to absorb crash energy in a frontal collision. You have a crumple zone that's 60% larger than a gas car since there's no engine there, so you have all that space to absorb crash energy in a frontal collision. That's kind of one of the reasons why it's so safe. We have this nice upgraded performance wheel and tire package with the Model 3 Performance, a very aggressive tread in the tires. This thing just grips to the road, amazing handling, especially with the addition of those adaptive dampers. And the nice thing with brakes, and this is another thing compared to a gas car, going back to like that M3 competition, it's going to be pretty expensive when you're going to have to replace those brakes in the M3 competition. It could be $4 or $5 grand for new front and rear pads and rotors. The magic of Teslas is that the brakes last like 150, 200,000 miles. You'll probably never need to replace brakes in the Tesla thanks to regenerative braking. So with regenerative braking, what happens is that when you need to slow down, it will reverse the polarity of the electric motors, using the electric motors to slow the vehicle down, turning them into generators. So normally all that energy you'd lose through heat through braking, all that kinetic energy is put back into the battery, making the EV all that more efficient. And a nice dividend of that is that you're using your actual brakes far, far less, so your brakes last a lot longer. Beautiful, quiet interior. It's like a sensory deprivation chamber. Tesla's putting this new double pane glass pretty much all around in their vehicles. So you can see it's a dual panel glass. So there's actually a sound deadening material sandwiched in between, making it extremely quiet. Very, very quiet. My Tesla, the older Teslas didn't have all this acoustic glass. Now with the acoustic glass pretty much on every glass panel in this car, this thing is so quiet. And you have lots of space in the rear. Since we don't have a drive shaft and exhaust system, it allows for a clean sheet design, giving you more interior space and cargo space versus a comparable gas vehicle. And it's pretty spacious for a compact sedan. And the weight of the batteries, it's like a keel, it's like an anchor holding this vehicle to the ground. So that aids in its amazing handling, a very little body roll, but it also aids the safety because it's very, very hard to make this vehicle roll over. The weight of the batteries are one of the heaviest things in this vehicle, and since they're pretty much like less than a foot off the ground, it's like an anchor keeping this thing glued to the ground. It is very hard to make this thing roll over, and that just makes it that much safer. Nice spacious trunk. You have a gigantic trunk. There is the charger. You can charge off a 110 outlet. That will add about 5 miles of range per hour, which is okay for some people. Maybe you'll get 60 to 70 miles of range overnight if you don't drive a lot. But the most efficient way is to set up a 220 service at your house. It's basically like the same outlet you have of a dryer. And once you get that set up, you can get a full charge in about 6 to 8 hours. And that's the way to go. Well, there you have it. A little bit of a long-winded walk around in this 24 Model 3 Performance, but so much to talk about. Such an amazing vehicle. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.